Hey, hi friends, very good morning to everyone. So today we are going to see the practical sessions with respect to the container database and pluggable database. So first we will go ahead and create a multi-tenant database with the help of DBCA. So let me show you that. So I just initiated DBCA, then we'll go with the regular way, choosing the advanced configuration and the general purpose database. So here is the one which comes the difference. So usually when we are creating, we are unchecking box and then we are just providing the database name and SID and we are proceeding. That is what we are doing in general. Now because we need to create a multi-tenant database, we need to choose this option. And when we choose the option, of course we need to provide the global database name and the SID. So let me take container database name as CDB1, or let me take it as like this. So I'm taking ConDB1, which stands for container database 1, as the main database name, and inside that I'm creating the pluggable database. As we discussed yesterday in 12C release 2, Oracle has given this option that you can create a local undo table space for each and every PDB. So I'm just checking that. And if you want, you can create an empty container database also. But here I am going with creating a pluggable database. And how many pluggable databases you want to create, you can mention that count as well here. And the pluggable databases name will be suffixed always. Like for example, if you are creating 3 pluggable databases and your pluggable database name starting with plug db, and if you are creating let's say 3 pluggable databases, then automatically Oracle will give the naming convention as plug db1, plug db2 and plug db3. So this plug db name, whatever you have given, it will be prefixed to the number. So I'm creating only one. So that is the only step which is different. Rest everything remains the same. And here comes one more important step. So as we discussed yesterday, this concept of multi-tenant architecture is for very high-end servers, and especially when you are creating this container and pluggable database, you need to remember that this container database may get some more pluggable databases in future. So I mean, when you are creating this for the very first time, you need to have a discussion with your manager or with your architect, like whoever is acting as database architect. So you need to have a discussion with them, and you need to understand whether in future more pluggable databases will be added to this container or not, because it depends on that we will be choosing the SGA and PGA sizes. Of course, if it is a 11G database, you can go, sorry, if it is a 12C database, you can go with automatic memory management and you can provide some value over here. So depends on the number of pluggable databases you have. You need to choose the proper SG and PGA sizes. So that's it. Let the database get created. Okay, so container database has been created. Now let us go and see how we can connect to that database. So by default my SID is set to prod.db. So now I am changing that here. So now we have connected to the container database. So here you can see I just exported the Oracle SID because by default it is pointing to prod.db. Then I connected. I just verified, and you can see here con database is in read write mode. So if you want to see how many PDBs are available in one container, there are two ways to do that. First, you can just run the command show PDBs, or second one, you can execute a query select star from $PDBs. Of course, this is the shortest one to go for show PDBs. So here you can see it is showing you that there is one pluggable database by the name $seed, and which is in read-only mode. So yesterday I told you that this database will be used as a template in order to create other pluggable databases, and only when Oracle support asks for some reason, then we need to open this in read-write mode. Otherwise, always it will be in read-only mode. Then we have the other pluggable database which was open by default in read-write mode, and this is the one which we have created at the time of database creation. And whenever you get some uh, doubt, like especially when you are having multiple pluggable databases, and if you want to see to which container database you have connected right now, you can use the query show con underscore name. So for example, if I issue this command now, because I am still there in the container database, it will show me the container database name. So as I said, condb1 or cdb$root are one and same. So Oracle will refer to that cdb$root as the name. So right now I am there in the container itself. So how we'll be switching back to the pluggable database? So this is the command that we need to use. Alter session set container equals to your pluggable database name. If you do that, your session now will get connected to the pluggable database. To confirm, you can run this query or run this command show con underscore name, and now you can see you have now connected to the pluggable database. So now whatever the users that you want to create, whatever the activities you want to do, creating the tables and all, you need to do it here in the in the pluggable database, and you should not do it in the container database. So let's say I want to create a user. I will be creating the user. here itself. And as I told you yesterday, there will be two different base tables will be available. One set will be available for the container database, and each pluggable will have again its own metadata information. So here you can see we have system sysocs, which are to store the metadata information. Then we have undo temp, and then we have users. This is in the pluggable database. Okay, so now this user that we have created tmprod and the table that we have created t1 both belongs to the pluggable database. And if you connect to the container database and try to see this information, you will not be able to see that. So let me show you that. So once again, I just disconnected and connecting back. So whenever you are connecting with SQL plus slash s sysdba, you know, it will by default connect to the container database. So you can see here, I am trying to check for the user as well as the table. So it will not show you any information because right now you are connected to the container database. So once you again switch to the pluggable database and run the same query, now you can see that information. Both user is there and as well as the table is there. So that is what it is. So the main important thing here is always, you need to remember that you need to switch to the pluggable database, and then only you will be able to see the information of the details of the users or tables or whatever. And how we can switch back to the container database again, you just need to run this command, alter session set container equals to $root. So now it will switch back to the container database. So you can see the same set of table spaces are available in the container as well. So in pluggable also it will show you system, sysocs, undo, temp and users. Even the same set is available in the container as well. So but still they will act as independent. So these table spaces belongs to container, and the table spaces which we saw above, these belongs to the pluggable database. And Oracle provides us different options, like if you want to open a pluggable database manually, or if you want to close a pluggable database manually, how we can do that. So for a single pluggable database, if you want to close a single pluggable database, you would be using the command like this: alter pluggable database and the pluggable database name close.
Owen, I have one question.
Yeah,
So are we done with the user topic? Because I want to ask question regarding the user.
no, not yet.
Not yet, right? Okay, that's fine.
So we don't have any direct command to shut down the pluggable database. All we need to do is just run this command, alter pluggable database, then pluggable database name close. And now, now you can see it will come to mount state. Earlier it is in read write mode, because after we issue the close, it will come to mount state. So apart from read write, read only and mount, there are no other status for pluggable. Like you cannot have a pluggable database in no mount state. Why? Because no mount is especially for the container database, so pluggable cannot have that. And also if you have multiple pluggable databases and you want to go ahead and close all of them, then you can use this command in a single shot. So this is going to close all the pluggable databases in a single one with single command. Or you want to close all the pluggable databases except some pluggable databases. In that case, you can use another command like this: alter pluggable database all except so and so pluggable database name close. So only that particular pluggable which you mentioned will be in open state. Rest of the other pluggable databases will be in closed state. And similarly for open also we have the same commands. So either you can open a single pluggable database, or you can open a all the pluggable databases, or you can open a particular pluggable. I mean, you can open all other pluggables, but you can give an exception to one or two pluggable databases. And then, sorry. So if you want to remain your pluggable database state. For example, I have two pluggable databases. Out of them, I want one pluggable database to be in read-write mode always, and I want one more pluggable database to be in read-only mode. So in such cases, you can mention which pluggable you want to make it as read-only. You can just run the command alter pluggable database name, save state. So you can see this. So from 12.1.02 onwards, we can save the current state of the pluggable database so that even if we restart the container database, Oracle will automatically restore what is the last saved state of that pluggable. So when you shut down, if that pluggable is in read-only mode, then when opening also the database will be in read-only mode only. So let us first try to shut down the database and see. So I open the pluggable database again. Now normally when we are shutting down the database, we just issue the command shutdown immediate. But when you have a pluggable database, what is Oracle suggestion is to shut down all the pluggable databases first, then go ahead and shut down the container database. Now what if I don't shut down the pluggable database? So right now you can see it is in read write mode. So I'm not closing that pluggable database and directly I'm shutting down the container database. So when I restart, what happens? Let's see. So now I am starting up. So now let us go and see what is the state of pluggable databases. So you can see here that pluggable database is in bound state. So this is what will happen when you shut down the database, shut down the container database and restart it. So pluggable database will not open automatically. So now what I need to do if I want to do that? I mean, if I want to open it automatically, then you need to use this option, save the state of the pluggable database. So let's say, let me first open the pluggable database. So now it is in read write mode. So now what I will do, I will just say alter pluggable database name, save state. Now let me restart the database and see. So here you can see. So this time directly it has opened in read write mode instead of read only mode. Instead of mount mode. So because we saved the state. So this is one thing that Oracle has given. So before proceeding with creating the pluggable database manually and other steps, let us talk about the users. So as I said yesterday, there will be two types of users. One we call it as local user and other one we call it as common user. And always the common user should be created in the container database, and it should start with the naming convention as C hash hash. And if you want to have this user access to all the container databases, then you need to say container equals to all. So now this user will be created even in the pluggable databases as well. So how we can identify whether that user is a common user or a local user? You have this extra column added in DBA users. So this will tell you the details. So you can see here the username is she hash hash, then created on so and so date, and account status is right now open. And if it is a common user, it will show you as S. If it is not a common user, it will show you as no. And accordingly what privileges that you want for this common user, you can go ahead and create those things as well. So let me so if I run the same query, you can see it will show you the details because it is a common user. But if it is a local user, it won't show you any such details. And also so by default, as I said, common user naming convention will start with C double hash. But if you want to give some other prefix, like instead of C hash hash, if you want to use some other prefix, then you need to append this particular, or you need to change this particular parameter in your SP file. So suppose I want to give the prefix as common underscore. So in such case, I need to say alter system set so and so parameter equals to common underscore, then scope equals to, I mean, if you want to change it permanently, you can say scope equals to both. Of course, now I'm there in pluggable, so it will not allow me, but that is how you are going to change that. So someone said they are having a question. So is that Sachin? Is that you had a question or something?
Yeah, yeah. I got lost now. Okay, so I got lost now.
Okay, okay. No issues. Whenever you get back, you can just ask me.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Pawan. So now you are getting the user, right? So this will be applicable for both, correct?
Right,
For the plugin as well as the container.
right,
Okay. So I guess my question, I guess you're in the process of explaining things. I guess what I wanted to ask was, suppose like there is a schema, right? Schema user we create and we connect to a particular schema, right?
right.
There are now the container and then comes the plugin, correct? So how can I directly connect to the pluggable? That was my question.
Okay, okay. So usually what we do, yeah, I'm about to explain that also. So suppose, here we are switching between containers and we can do that. But how as a user will be connecting? Suppose some we have this TM prod user. So how the TM prod user can be directly connected to the pluggable database? So that is through the TNS names. So we need to create a TNS name, TNS entry for this pluggable database, and then with that help of the TNS entry, they will be able to connect to the pluggable database directly, like this, like what I am showing. SQL plus username slash password at the pluggable database name.
Got it. So it will remain the same. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because normal users will never connect to the container database. So always it will be happening through TNS entry itself.
Okay, but now we did not create, right, the TNS entry for the pluggable database
No, not
when
yet.
okay, not yet. Okay.
It is the same process. So first we need to have a listener, which will be going ahead with the services, and then we need to just create the TNS entry like how it is in regular database. It is in the same way.
Okay. Yeah. So and like pluggable. So suppose if you want to connect to container, you will be connecting to container, right? At the rate container DB,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. You can also connect to container, provided that user should be created in the container database.
Yes.
So coming to the next section, how we are going to create the pluggable database manually. Like if I want to add one more pluggable database to the existing container database, and there are two ways, of course. You can use DBCA, and you can alter the database and add more containers. I mean, add more pluggables. Let me show you that. I'm initiating DBCA. So here, last option you can see manage pluggable databases. So you need to select that option, click on next. Then you will be having different options: create a pluggable, delete a pluggable, unplug, and configure. So I am going with the first option, creating a pluggable database, and I want to create in the container database CONDB1, and I need to provide the OS based authentication details like my Oracle username and password. Sorry, it is database user details. So now you can see, create a new pluggable database from seed, and then or otherwise you have different options like this. So let me create a new one. Then what should be the pluggable database name? I'm creating it as plugdb1. Then administrator username. Yesterday I told you like we'll be having generally like PDB admin user, and then password, and where the data files and all should be located. I'm just going with the default ones. So this is one way how to create a new pluggable database. So now it has created successfully. So if we go back and see, so now it should show you two pluggable databases. And here it is, one pluggable with the name plugdb and second pluggable with the name plugdb1. So the same we can do using a manual method as well. So for that you need to use this particular command, create pluggable database, then pluggable database name. So I'm taking pluggable database name as plugdb2. You can take any name. It is not mandatory that we need to go with the same name or something. So that is with DBCA we have done, and this is with the manual method. So the difference you might have observed here, if I create a pluggable database with DBCA, it will be by default in open read write mode. But if I create a pluggable database using the manual method, by default it is a mount state. So we need to open it manually. So that is how now we have it. So if you want to drop any pluggable database, then first you need to close that pluggable database, and then you need to execute this command drop pluggable database name including data files. So let me just try to drop one pluggable. First we need to close it, then we need to say drop pluggable database name including data files. So now if you query, you will be seeing only two pluggable databases. And if you want to create a clone copy, like let's say I want to create one more pluggable database using this plugdb2, then we can do the cloning, and for that we can just execute this simple command in order to perform the cloning. So we need to just say create pluggable database 3 from pluggable database 2, and then file name convert. So before going with file name convert, you need to see the data file location information. So when you are there in the container database, and if you query your data file information, you will see both the container database information, container database data files, as well as you will see the other data files as well. So these data files, whatever you are seeing here, so these belongs to container database. You can see the location here. And these data files, whatever you are seeing here, belongs to plugdb1. And these data files, what you are seeing here, belongs to plugdb2. So here, why? Because when I am creating plugdb2, I have mentioned the destination, data file creation destination as this one. So which means I'm using OMF here. So that is why Oracle followed that OMF mechanism, and that is why even the names of the data file also you will see in the OMF naming convention. So now if I want to create a pluggable database from plugdb2, or let's say plugdb1, I need to say U01 app Oracle product, sorry, or a data, sorry. Let's say I want to give the location as, say, similar location but plugdb3. Okay. So now we are cloning the plugdb1 to plugdb3. And of course, once again, when you do this, it will be in bound state as usual. You need to open that. Now there is one difference that between 12c release 1 and 12c release 2. If it is 12c release 1, then you need to have the source database in read-only mode. For example, here we have cloned plugdb1 to plugdb3. So if the same command I want to run in 12c release 1, right now what we are using is 12c release 2, but if we want to have the same command executed in 12c release 1, first we need to place plugdb1 in read-only mode. Then only it will work. But the enhancement what Oracle has made in 12c release 2 is you don't need to have that source database to be there in the read-only mode. Even when the database is open in read-write mode, still you can perform the cloning. So that is what the point mentioned here. And as I said yesterday, archive log mode will be enabled at the container level, not at the pluggable database level. And how we are going to do that? So you just need to execute the same command. These four steps are same like earlier. Only difference is you will be having now the extra step to close the pluggable database and to open the pluggable database. Then placing it in mount state, executing the command alter database archive log, then alter database open, and finally open all the pluggable databases. So it is the same command to verify. So if you just say archive log list, it will show you whether archive log mode is enabled or not, etc. And to take the backup of the database also, we have small changes in the rman commands. So if you run the regular command backup database plus archive log, it will take the backup of both the container and the pluggable database. So if you just run this command, it will take the backup of both your container database as well as pluggable database in a single shot. So if you want to take only pluggable database backup, then you need to execute this command backup pluggable database, then pluggable database name. So it will take the backup of only pluggable database. Similarly, if you want to take backup of only container database, then you will be executing this command backup database root. So similarly, if you want to restore and recover with the help of Harman backup, then also to restore only container, you would be using this restore database root. To restore particular pluggable database, you will use restore pluggable database and name. And to restore both container as well as pluggable, you will be simply using restore database. So any questions? Okay, so now the next one is how to convert a non-container database to container database. So we have several steps for that. So here I have one non-container database. So I have created one non-container database by the name non12c. So this is our regular database. So let me start it up first. So this is a non-container database in the sense the regular architecture database. So how we are going to convert this into a container database? So first we are going to execute a command which will extract the this database details into some XML file. So again this command we need to execute here. Now you can see it has been executed. Again, the difference here is if this database is 12c release 1, then you need to place this database in read-only mode. But right now what we are using is 12c release 2, so that the thing has been removed now. So that was the note mentioned here. Then you need to connect to the container database into which you want to convert this into a pluggable database. So for example, I want to add that database into this con db. So already in ConDB, I have three pluggable databases. I want to add that non-container database as the fourth one. So what we need to do for that, of course, first we need to connect to that container database. I have already connected. Then you need to say, so you are going to check the compatibility. So basically this particular script, what it is going to do, it is going to check the compatibility, whether that particular database can be converted into a non-container, I mean into a pluggable database or not. Just a moment.
No, there's a end, begin and end, right?
Begin and
That should be begin and end, right? It is missing. Declare after that.
right. Yeah, it could be. Just give me a moment.
I guess the below declaration and then
Yo, okay, right.
yeah, your directly case statement.
This entire thing. Okay, got it. So the yeah, this one, as I said, to check the compatibility. If any issues is there, of course, here it will not get successfully completed. Now I am creating that pluggable database with the name plugdb4 using the XML file. So here, if you look at, I am doing it in the same server. So when I am doing it in the same server, you don't need to move any data files and all. But if you are using or if you are doing it to a different server, then yes, we need to copy the data files to a particular location into that server. Uh, just give me a moment. So I'm just taking where are my data files. So because location is important. So here in the file name convert, first we need to give the location of the existing data files. So this is the existing location, and then you need to give the location where you want to have the other data files. So I want to have data files in condb1 plugdb4. So this is what we are going to do. So this is also creating a clone copy only. So from the existing non-container database, you are cloning it with the, or you are cloning it to the container database. So now you can see it is showing that it has been created. Of course, it will be ground state. But can I open the pluggable database directly? No, we cannot. Or even if we open it, then you need to do certain activities. I think, okay. So first we need to connect to that pluggable database 4, and because you have converted this from a non-container database to a container database, you need to execute a script in order to make your database understand that now this database is going to be a container database. So we have a script by the name non-cdb to pdb. So we need to execute that particular script here. So it will update all the base tables and all in order to make sure that this database has been converted into a pluggable database. So that would take some time. So once we are done with that, we just need to open the database. So as the final step. So once we are done with that, then it is like successfully we have completed the database to be converted from a non-CDB to CDB. So then we have the command how to unplug and plug a database from one CDB to another CDB. So which we will see tomorrow, and followed by some other topics. So anyone questions? Okay, so let's meet tomorrow at the same time, and have a nice day till then.